Jamila Loubriel. I have definitely had just quite a lot of things that I want to touch on lately, but I really have been wanting to make something more specific to some queer, trans, and women inclusive and centered topics. And so this is the first one that I have for y'all. And so it is going to be about supporting your queer, trans, and femme woman partners, femme slash woman partners, however they identify. But these may be things that just could be helpful to know of just supporting the queer and trans uh, community as well as women and femme identifying people. So these are basically my own opinions, and this is not medical advice. I do not speak for the whole queer community, the whole trans community, genderqueer community. These are just my own personal opinions, and if you are going through the time of seeking any type of professional advice around relationships, I highly recommend finding a good therapist, not just any therapist, but a good therapist. So, Psychology Today is a great resource, but I just wanted to make sure I give resource to people that are looking for that. This is more, if you really want to say like peer oriented of how I'm going to be talking about this. If you want to look at it as peer support, but really, I am telling stories, sharing my experience, and just think of it as just like a vlog style, improvised. I'm just gonna, send lots of love and support out to the queer community, the trans community, and also femme identifying people and women. Just know that I hold these communities very dearly to my heart, and so that's why I'm inspired to make this video and just spread some positive awareness around how we can support others in our community, basically. So I'll speak a little on my experience and some things that I have found helpful as far as in the relationships like I've been in, some things like I have found that have been helpful or not helpful, so I can share a little bit about my personal experience. And so I definitely feel like it's important for me when I'm dating someone for them to, be educated on intersectionality and, you know, queer issues, the things that we face in our communities, to know that they are, um, just supportive of us, and just to know like that um they have done their due diligence and research, and just like are educated, and yeah, so that could be like a whole video just on that. So I feel like that's very important. Same thing with them being aware of like women's history, trans history, and I feel like there is just so much culturally, you know, to have that awareness really makes a big difference when someone has like cultural awareness in a relationship. I would say for me personally, it is essential. So that's, probably a pretty obvious one, but the one I will point out is the obvious, if any obvious one. But, you know, just to know that, it's a good, loving situation. Okay. And yeah, I feel like that might very well be an obvious one, but it is a good one to know. Um, you know, I would say it is nice to be able to go to queer events and queer places and them not feel like awkward about it if they're not also queer identifying. Um, I really would say being open minded about areas to hang out, you know, hanging out in maybe areas that are more specific to the LGBTQSIA plus communities. That is, you know, I feel like it should be. I don't see why I would, you know what I'm saying? Like, make someone feel uncomfortable. Like, everyone is welcome, but that for me would be um, something that I would be thinking about of like, okay, like, I want to be able to, have a date night wherever or go to a show wherever if that was the date or the entertainment that we were doing. So pretty sure that makes pretty good sense. And I mean, it should really go without saying, but just being a supportive partner in general, um, I know that has helped in any kind of relationship that I've been in. Um, really having that common ground of like being there to support one another is very important. And obviously being inclusive, to their identity, maybe having an open mind, like if you're not LGBTQSIA plus identifying or femme identifying or woman identifying, to still have that sense of inclusiveness, and like I really think I hammered it home there with the intersectionality piece, but that coincides with that. Okay, so see, I've had a couple people join and leave, but thank you for tuning in. I know sometimes we can be in a rush or multitasking, so I appreciate everyone that tunes in, even if we're just a little bit. But be sure to say hi if you do come onto a live sometime. mm. So yeah, I feel like something I also like to do with my partners is just check in with one another, like, hey, like, I just want to check in, like, how are you feeling? Like, that for me is a way to give and show support and love. So, I feel like these will also just be like, you know, just general, like, being nice. Like, this is just like really, but I mean, it is about having a kind heart, an open heart, and also empathy. I feel like goes a long way. Um, Communication skills, having emotional intelligence, And it is very nice, like, even if you have a partner that is femme but you yourself are not femme or trans, or just if whatever situation, like, I feel like, as long as you are doing the work right to support them and how they identify and their personal journey, like, that is always appreciated for me. Like, when my partners are able to maybe be able to, like, at least try to understand that experience, even if they haven't personally had that same exact experience. That is powerful, to be able to emphasize with someone and be able to support them, even if you haven't been through exactly what they've been through. That to me is true community. And you can still support the community, even if you're not necessarily identify as a part of that community. Like, we can still build community with one another, and educate ourselves about culture and history, and how we can support people. So that is really the theme, the overall theme, I'm feeling like, of the video. So already almost 12 minutes in. So I do feel like it is important also for, you know, if you aren't of that identity, to not exploit the person that is of that identity for anything, like, to take it upon yourself, right, to educate yourself if you are a person that is coming from more of a place of privilege. Definitely acknowledge that privilege. That is super important to do. I know that always, like, makes me feel better when if I'm dating a partner that is not within the LGBTQSIA plus community, or a femme, like, to if they do have that kind of privilege, to acknowledge it. And that's also been, like, if I've even worked with, like, a therapist that wasn't exactly of my identity, but could still, like, understand my experience as, like, say, like, a person of color. And so that's basically, like, um yeah, very important. So um so yeah, I mentioned, like, maybe going to some events, a show, something like that, being inclusive, having a willingness to learn about the culture. I feel like also is good. uh that to me is showing support, like, for me and my relationships, to see that my partner is educating themselves. And so, you know having someone that is educated and supportive and caring, that is an amazing thing. So yeah, this is almost a 15-minute long video, and I am shooting this on the iPhone 15 Pro. So um since this is already, like, very long for a phone video, I'm gonna have to end here. But if y'all like where I'm going with this, I will definitely do a part 2. So thanks for tuning in. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and follow me on Snapchat. It's Jamila Network. JamilaNetwork. So thank you for tuning in. And this is my self care. YouTube is my self care, but it's one of my tools. One of my tools. So I really appreciate y'all sharing this experience with me. And yeah, um, I feel better already. I feel better already. So thank you so much.